Along the Chestnut Ridge in western Pennsylvania lies the town of Blairsville. Founded in 1818 and then incorporated in 1825, Blairsville's location on the banks of the Conemaugh River and at the western edge of the Allegheny Mountains has shaped its story and made it a place of consequence. The town played a critical role in the westward expansion of the original 13 colonies. It was a major transportation route and contributor to the growth of the American industry. As a result, Blairsville experienced the benefits and challenges of western expansion and industrialization. Indian trails, pack horses, Conestoga wagons, stagecoaches, canal packet boats, locomotives, automobiles. Blairsville has always been closely linked with transportation and the move westward. From Native American villages to a modern, close-knit community, the town has a rich history of growth, development, and challenges. Blairsville, it truly is a place of consequence. Join us as we take a look at its story.
Our story begins in the mid-1500s with the Monongahela woodland people. This overgrown area along the Conemaugh just south of town was their home. As time passed, many of the woodland people would migrate away from their ancestral lands. While we know very little about the woodland people, an archaeological expedition in the 1950s by the Carnegie Museum did shed some light on their story. But the trails that connected their villages would become the pathways for later Native Americans and for settlers coming west from the colonies. One of the key trails would soon become the Frankstown Road. It ran along the northern edge of town near the River Valley School campus and roughly along what is now Cornell Road. In the 1700s, the early European settlers joined the Shawnee and Delaware tribes along the Conemaugh River. Taken from the Unami Lenape language, Conemaugh means Otter Creek. The area was blessed with access to fresh water and an abundance of coal and salt. The Shawnee and Delaware shared stories of these local resources with the French and English traders passing through the land. This information spread, and the location drew settlers and traders from the east. As the colony of Pennsylvania was spreading westward, Blairsville would play a significant role in this expansion. In 1760, James Baird started a farm on open land on the west side of the Conemaugh, the foundation of Bairdstown. Baird became good friends with the Native Americans downstream. They warned him about the dangers of tribes that were not fond of European settlers. Two Native Americans, named Black Bear and Cloud, even took Baird's son on trips with them to teach him the ways of the land. Just south of the Conemaugh and east of Route 217 is McGee's Run. In 1774, Richard Wallace settled on this land. With some Native Americans being hostile toward the settlers, Wallace's home became a place of refuge when those settlers were threatened. The home would later be fortified and a perimeter wall constructed. It was given the name Fort Wallace by the local settlers. There are accounts of settlers fleeing to the fort when threatened, often running for miles while being pursued by hostile tribes. Blacklick Township was established in 1807. Charles Campbell, one of the early settlers of the township, built a mill and store to supply settlers. Years later, this would become Campbell's Mill Park and recreation area. Over the next decades, the area continued to grow. The Frankstown Road was completed from the Juniata River to the Conemaugh at Newport, the first town in Indiana County. Newport's natural wharf provided a launching point for rafts to send goods downriver and a ferry across the Conemaugh for travelers. While the Frankstown Road had played an essential role in the lives of the early settlers, by the early 1800s it was overgrown and in serious need of repair. The H.C.&J. Turnpike Road Company wanted to revive the road to support trade and make transportation easier. To raise funds, they sold shares of stocks to construct and operate a toll road. John Blair, president of the H.C.&J. Turnpike Company, played an essential role in raising funds for the revitalization. After several years of trying to raise the needed capital, construction of the road began in 1815. In 1818, the village was called Blairsville in honor of John Blair. Major portions of the land were owned by James Campbell and Andrew Brown. Portions of the land around what is now the Diamond were sold to individuals interested in moving to the area. In March 1819, there was a competition to see who could build a home on their land the fastest. Isaac Green won the contest with a log house on West Market Street, receiving a plot of land as a prize. Blairsville was entering a new era of transportation, with stagecoaches first appearing in 1819 and construction of the single-span bridge across the Conemaugh beginning in 1821. Blairsville was a growing economy. When the bridge was opened to the public in 1822, it became the first covered bridge in Indiana County and the longest single-span bridge in America. As the turnpike developed, the area flourished as warehouses, taverns, and hotels sprang up across Blairsville. John Graff was one of the warehouse owners. His descendants still reside in the Blairsville area. Wagons, trains, and stage lines multiplied, and Blairsville became an important overnight stop. 200 years ago, in 1825, Blairsville was officially incorporated. It included the lands of James Campbell and Andrew Brown. McNulty constructed the Exchange Hotel in the 1820s. While the hotel is gone now, it sat here on the Diamond. It was regarded as the best hotel between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. It was given the name Exchange Hotel because stagecoaches traveling on the turnpike would stop at the hotel to trade their tired horses. With its key location on the turnpike and the Conemaugh River, Blairsville became ever more important as the young nation developed. The hotel would become an essential part of early Blairsville. George M. Dallas, whom Dallas, Texas is named after, stayed at the hotel. So did German Prince Maximilian. William Henry Harrison served the shortest time as President of the United States, only 1 month. When he died in office in 1841, his body passed through Blairsville as it was sent by river barge and train to his home in Ohio. While the Exchange Hotel was the best known in the area, there were multiple other popular hotels along the Diamond, such as the Emerson Hotel and Jameson Hotel. As Western Pennsylvania developed, the demand for improved transportation grew. Back in 1787, the state legislature designated the Conemaugh River as a public highway. Later, the legislature would fund the building of a canal to connect Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And in 1824, work began on the Pennsylvania Canal, which was a series of rivers and portages. In 1829, Blairsville's portion of the canal was completed. For the next 30 years, the canal created an economic boom for Blairsville, making the exchange of goods more convenient than ever. During this period, slavery was a major issue affecting all areas of the country, and Blairsville was no exception. Many freedom seekers sought to escape slavery by fleeing to the north. With its location on the Conemaugh River and Chestnut Ridge, Blairsville became a key part of the route for those escaping from Western Virginia. Many Blairsville residents were involved in the Underground Railroad. These included John Graff, a merchant, and Lewis Johnston, a freight hauler and the son of a slave. Richard Newman, who had escaped from slavery, began a new life in Blairsville. In April 1854, bounty hunters and a deputy U.S. Marshal spotted Newman outside of Mulholland's store on Water Street. When they tried to take Newman captive, a furious mob of Blairsville residents confronted the slave catchers and ran them out of town. Newman would then flee north along the Underground Railroad. The first half of the 1800s would see Blairsville grow and industry develop. Many new businesses were developed, including tanneries, brickyards, foundries, flour mills, and even cigar makers. The turnpike and canal provided a clear transportation route to support the developing industry. With the success of the canal, Samuel McNulty would put the Exchange Hotel up for sale in 1848. He took a position as the Blairsville collector of tolls on the Pennsylvania Canal. The first few decades of Blairsville's existence saw a small village grow into a thriving town. The canal and commerce fueled this growth. Given its location, Blairsville emerged as a gateway to the west. But the days of the canal were numbered. In 1850, a new arrival would enable Blairsville to maintain its position as a transportation and industrial hub. With the arrival of the railroad, Blairsville would adapt and remain a place of consequence in the new era of transportation.
In 1850, a new transportation mode would arrive: the railroads. Steam-powered engines would open a new era, and Blairsville would adapt to maintain its position as a transportation and industrial hub. The story of the railroad would begin when the Pennsylvania Railroad Company was authorized to build a line from Libbinggood Summit in Westmoreland County to Blairsville. In 1852, the first train to reach Blairsville, called the Henry Clay, would transport people and goods. They would then be transferred to the local canal to continue their journey westward to Pittsburgh. As it adapted to the railroad, the town would continue to grow, with the opening of tanneries, factories, brickyards, foundries, and woolen mills. Blairsville was a thriving and successful town of commerce, manufacturing, and transportation. Blairsville's economy and reputation grew, and it became a well-known town in the region. In 1851, the Blairsville College for Women opened on North Walnut Street. Here, young women were provided with the opportunity to pursue secondary education. As one of the first colleges for women, it attracted students from across the northeastern states. The college helped reinforce Blairsville's reputation for intelligence, culture, and high morality. In 1856, the extension of the Pennsylvania Railroad's branch line to Indiana was completed. This sparked an industrial boom, with the rail line transporting over 5,000 passengers and 7 million pounds of freight annually. Blairsville was becoming a major railroad center, and the Pennsylvania Railroad moved its shops from Allegheny County to Blairsville to allow for easy accessibility. The railroads would continue to be expanded throughout the late 1800s into the early 1900s. As the railroad expanded, portions of the canal were slowly abandoned between 1857 and 1899. The Pennsylvania Railroad filled portions of the abandoned canal and constructed railroad tracks on it. Some sections were later filled and used to build highways. Despite efforts to save it, in 1874, the covered bridge across the Conemaugh collapsed and fell into the river. When it was completed in 1822, the bridge near what is now West Market Street was considered the largest single-span bridge in America and was the first covered bridge in Indiana County. A new iron bridge was built in its place by the Canton, Ohio Bridge Company. It spanned 264 feet and was 16 feet wide. By 1878, Blairsville was a major railroad center. A wide variety of repair and maintenance shops were spread across the railroad yard. These included a roundhouse, which supported 7 locomotives, 2 repair shops, 3 woodsheds, a cement store, turntables, and a coal wharf. The forces of nature have been the instruments of numerous physical changes. In 1884, another bridge would be built between Blairsville and Cokeville on Morewood Avenue, which extended past Johnson Avenue and to the Conemaugh. It would be destroyed by a tornado in 1886, and then rebuilt just to be washed away by the Johnstown flood in 1889. The Johnstown flood of 1889 greatly impacted the people of Blairsville. On the afternoon of May 31st, 1889, people noticed that the Conemagh's waters were rising rapidly. There had been heavy rain in the area, and the town was uncertain what this meant. That changed at 6 p.m. that evening, when a mighty torrent of water washed hundreds of people away. People with ropes lined the Blairsville, Bairdstown, and Cokeville bridges, hoping to rescue anyone who could get a grip on, but there wasn't much luck. Both the Bairdstown Bridge on West Market and the Cokeville Bridge on Morewood Avenue were destroyed in the flood. The Pittsburgh Bridge Company was contracted to rebuild the two bridges. The Blairsville-Bairdstown Bridge opened in 1890 and stood until 1935. Transportation would continue to evolve, and in 1910, the first streetcars entered Blairsville. The fare for a trip was 35 cents. The streetcars connected Blairsville with the county seat in Indiana. Blairsville was the last stop on the streetcar line. In 1927, the streetcars were making some 18 trips each day to and from Indiana. But by the early 1930s, the streetcar era was coming to an end. In 1933, the last streetcar ran from Blairsville to Indiana. The land and equipment were sold off soon after. In 1936, nature would again strike. The St. Patrick's Day flood, also known as the Johnstown flood of 1936, hit the area. Warmer than normal temperatures had hastened the snowmelt in the mountains. On March 9th, a steady and heavy rain began in the region and did not stop until March 22nd. By March 17th, the waters were too much for the river basin to handle. As the flood waters flowed down the Conemaugh from Johnstown in the mountains, Cokesville, Blairsville, and Bairdstown were in its direct path. People were forced to flee for their lives. Some 750 residents sheltered in the Blairsville Armory, and the National Guard was called in to protect the flooded homes from looting. The flood caused the Cokeville Bridge to once again collapse. But the flood did not stop here. The waters roared down the Conemaugh, into the Kiskiminetas, and then the Allegheny River. With floodwater also coming down the Monongahela, Pittsburgh was in their direct path, with water levels peaking at 46 feet in the city. Damage to Pittsburgh's steel mills, buildings, and highways was estimated at $5 to $6 billion in today's terms. Flood control measures had been under discussion in Congress for several years with no real action. The St. Patrick's Day flood would change that. Comprehensive planning would begin to develop a network of dams along the upper waters of the Allegheny River. These would include the Loyalhenna and Kinzua dams, as well as the largest of them all, the Conemaugh Dam, just downriver from Blairsville. Plans for the dam were started in the late 1930s, but construction was delayed by World War II and did not begin until 1949. While construction of the dam would play a significant role in protecting the region from floods, it had its own impact on the Blairsville area. The Conemaugh Dam is among the largest dams in the eastern United States. When the dam was ready in September of 1953, the flood area for its reservoir, when full, would be backed up for 21 miles, with elevations up to 970 feet above sea level underwater. The dam would have a major impact on the region, with parts of Blairsville, Bairdstown, Cokeville, and other local towns impacted. The Conemaugh Flood Control Project also required the relocation of U.S. Route 22. In 1924, the old turnpike was paved as automobiles became more common. The William Penn Highway, now U.S. Route 22, brought traffic down Market Street through the heart of Blairsville. The traffic contributed to the growth of Blairsville's business district and community prosperity. Built in 1951, the new U.S. Route 22 was opened to the north of town and bypassed the Blairsville business district. The decline of the railroads, building of the Conemaugh Dam, and the relocation of U.S. Route 22 would have major impacts on Blairsville. But the town would survive and remain a place of consequence.
By the 1960s and 70s, Blairsville was undergoing significant transformation, shaped by the rapid growth in industry and technology. The surge in automobile ownership brought major changes to the town, with a variety of car dealerships including Buick, Chevrolet, and Ford opening along bustling Route 22. Gas stations began opening on every corner, including Sheetz, which still maintains locations in town and on Route 22. To support the increase in automobiles, auto parts companies like Penn Parts established themselves in Blairsville, providing the materials to ensure that every car continued to run smoothly. At the same time, Blairsville witnessed major technological shifts in retail. The local Sears store, for example, introduced a telephone shopping service, allowing customers to call in and reserve products. This marked a major step in blending technology with consumer convenience. Other businesses along Market Street drew inspiration from this and began to integrate technology to keep up with competitors. Throughout this time of rapid transformation, Blairsville remained a resilient and tight-knit community. Today, the borough is thriving, with a population of some 3,600 residents living in its 1.5 square miles. The town is home to the River Valley School District. Consolidated in 2021, the schools have become a cornerstone of Blairsville's vibrant and welcoming atmosphere, fostering a supportive learning environment for all students and offering a blend of tradition, innovation, and community spirit. The district includes parts of Indiana and Westmoreland County, with some 16,000 residents in its 142 square mile area. Blairsville's sense of community is also on full display during the annual Knotweed Festival. Held every August at the Diamond in Blairsville Amphitheater, the festival has become a yearly staple for the community and tourists. The festival is a family-friendly community event that brings people together to have a great time, offering visitors the opportunity to enjoy live music, sample foods from a variety of food trucks, and take part in various activities. The festival begins with a community parade, embodying the spirit of togetherness that defines Blairsville. Over the 12 years that the Knotweed Festival has taken place, it has seen remarkable growth, nearly tripling in size, which committee members say shines a light on our town. Blairsville's deep-rooted traditions and sense of community are also reflected in its ongoing celebrations of the town's history. In 1975, Blairsville marked its 150th anniversary as a place of consequence. Fast forward to today, Blairsville is preparing to celebrate its bicentennial, continuing to honor its accomplishments and triumphs. Local organizations like the Blairsville Historical Society and the Market Street Gang play a vital role in keeping the town's legacy alive. The Blairsville Historical Society, founded in 1986, works tirelessly to preserve the town's unique history. Known for having one of the best documented histories in Indiana County, the Historical Society curates artifacts and exhibits to celebrate Blairsville's past. In preparation for the bicentennial celebrations, they are organizing local events and designing special commemorative merchandise for Blairsville residents. Meanwhile, the Market Street Gang, a volunteer group started by Bill and Judy McAtee, is a group of 10 to 15 retired men and women devoted to keeping Blairsville beautiful. They dedicate their time to planting and maintaining flowers throughout the town, decorating the bandstand for the seasons, and sustaining the entrance to the Riverfront Trail, ensuring that Blairsville remains welcoming to both residents and visitors. They spend $1,000 a year to support these efforts, funding provided entirely through community donations. The group stays active on social media, keeping donors in the loop on how money is spent, ensuring transparency and building trust in their work. Education and community go hand in hand in Blairsville, thanks to institutions like the Blairsville Public Library. Originally established in 1872, and now in a new location on North Walnut Street, the library serves as a hub for learning and connection. They have activities like story time for young readers, driver's practice tests, and online resources for teens, such as Power Teens, a chat service with a librarian. With something for everyone, the library fosters both personal growth and community in Blairsville. The spirit of creativity and connection expands beyond education and work. Recently, a group of artists from New York visited Blairsville and Indiana County, painting colorful murals with nods to the town scattered throughout, adding a vibrant burst of energy to the area. This project was part of a county-wide initiative funded in part by a Creative Communities grant through the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts. Meanwhile, retired art teacher Joy Fairbanks has brought her own artistic vision to life by installing sculptures throughout the community. Her goal is simple but powerful: to create unexpected moments of connection with art for both residents and visitors in this small town. These sculptures, along with the vibrant murals that have brightened the town, reflect Blairsville's commitment to fostering a creative, welcoming environment for all. Blairsville's strong local business presence also plays a vital role in its unique character. Residents don't have to leave town for services like hair salons, medical appointments, or restaurants. These businesses keep Blairsville's spirit alive, providing jobs and gathering places that are central to the community's identity. One well-known business in Blairsville is Clark Metal, which celebrated 70 years in 2024. Founded in 1954, the company has grown into a cornerstone of the community, built on a foundation of precision, hard work, and commitment to local values. The business was established by J.W. Clark, a financial man known for his careful, precise approach to numbers. His journey began at Diamond Metal Productions. When the company could not fulfill a government contract to produce toolboxes for the U.S. Navy, Clark saw this as an opportunity to branch off on his own. Diamond Metal Productions sold off its assets, and Clark Metals was born. Initially, Clark operated the business out of Gilmore Bakery, located behind his home. From there, the business grew and expanded, producing metal, painting, and powder coating products. As demand grew, Clark realized that he would need a bigger workspace. He purchased an old office facility and renovated it. Clark Metal would remain at that location for a decade before moving to its current location at the Old Metals Conventions Building on Cerrell Drive. Throughout each move, the Blairsville community offered steady support, backing Clark Metal as they became an integral part of the town's economy. Clark's sons, Jack and Dave, stepped up as the second generation of leadership. Growing up around the company, they knew that the business would become their career path. Jack brought his engineering skills to the company, while Dave took on a hands-on role in the shop. Together, they faced challenges and drove the company forward, supported by a loyal and dedicated team. Today, the company is under the leadership of third-generation David Clark Jr. For the Clark family, the company is not just a business, but a reflection of Blairsville's values. The town is known for its blue-collar work ethic, where hard work and dedication shape the community. At Clark Metal, the philosophy is simple: treat people right, and they'll return the favor with a good day's work. This commitment to their employees and the local community has helped the company thrive for 7 decades, and it will continue to be a driving force for the next generation. Another popular business, located along Market Street, is Market Street Pastries. Owned by Rebecca Marshall, the bakery is a favorite gathering spot for many visitors and Blairsville locals. With deep roots in the area, Rebecca carries on a family tradition that began with her husband's grandfather, Howard Marshall, who opened the Federal Bakery in 1921. Although the Federal Bakery closed in 1978, its legacy of providing high-quality baked goods left a lasting impression on the community, a tradition that Rebecca proudly carries forward with her own business. In 2009, Rebecca saw an opportunity to breathe new life into a historic building, the old Brizzy Building, which once housed a candy store and a soda fountain. Her husband's fondness for the abandoned building structure, combined with a passion for baking, inspired them to purchase and restore the building. The renovation process was a labor of love, maintaining the original storefront while reviving the charm of a bygone era. After 2 years of hard work, Market Street Pastries officially opened its doors in August of 2011. The building itself, dating back to 1897, stands as a testament to Blairsville's history and the importance of preserving its architectural heritage. In the mid-2010s, their renovation efforts were recognized when Market Street Pastries was named the second best renovation project in the area by the Young Professionals Network. Customers feel at home in Market Street Pastries. The shop pays tribute to the Federal Bakery with its popular maple rolls. With 6 dedicated employees and a loyal base of regulars, the bakery has become a cherished gathering spot for locals. Dean's Diner has been a Blairsville staple since 1934, when it was first opened by Emerson Dean along Market Street. As time went on and the new Route 22 highway was built, the Dean family saw an opportunity to serve hungry travelers and commuters, moving the diner to its current location in 1953. The new spot on Route 22 quickly became a favorite gathering place, with locals stopping by after football games, rounds of golf, or simply to enjoy a comforting slice of homemade pie. With a remodeling and expansion in the 1980s, Dean's adapted and grew with the community, all while maintaining the same welcoming atmosphere. Today, Dean's Diner remains more than a restaurant. It's a piece of Blairsville's history. For longtime residents, it stirs up memories and a sense of nostalgia, while continuing to create new ones for younger generations. Famous for its comfort food and homemade classics, Dean's Diner serves staple dishes that have been part of its menu for decades. The hot roast beef sandwich, meatloaf sandwich, liver and onions, and the burger deluxe are beloved recipes passed down through the family, providing a taste of tradition with every bite. Nearly everything on the menu is made in-house, adding to the diner's authentic, home-cooked feel. The heart of Dean's Diner starts early each day as the baker prepares fresh pies and donuts, offering 20 flavors of pie and 6 donut varieties. With over 200 customers served daily, including regulars and new faces passing through, Dean's is a trusted spot for a hearty meal. The diner's 33 employees make sure every visit feels like coming home, where people can relax, celebrate, and connect over food that keeps them coming back for more.
Blairsville's enduring spirit is shaped by its rich history, strong sense of community, and dedication to preserving its traditions while embracing change. From its early days of industrial growth and technological innovation to the thriving local businesses that continue to anchor the town, Blairsville remains a place where people can connect, celebrate, and build lasting memories. The town's identity is driven by a blend of art, recreation, and a vibrant local economy. But it is the community that makes Blairsville the strong, tight-knit town that it is today. Dedicated residents serve the town and keep fresh ideas flowing, will continue to honor its past. Whether through organizing events, supporting new projects, or simply gathering at familiar spots, the community fosters a sense of belonging that makes Blairsville feel like home to all who visit. It is this shared commitment to community that bridges the past and future, keeping the legacy of Blairsville alive for generations to come. This commitment and identity have been seen throughout the town's history. Celebrated in the 1975 sesquicentennial, and again today in its bicentennial, this legacy has preserved Blairsville's status as a place of consequence.